Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the playing of
the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast
with your host, the 2023 IBWAA Podcast Host of the Year, Jana, and her big brother, Jeff. Great to be here for the final episode of this season, Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast, where we get together pretty much every week to talk baseball, talk Dodgers, Angels, and around baseball, and more sometimes. You can find us on Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Instagram and Facebook at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
And on our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. Don't forget, you can hit the Fanatics link. And whether you get missed printed T-shirts from them or actual gear that you want from World Championship teams or teams that didn't win anything, it's all right there available for you, not only for Major League Baseball, but all sports and other. I think you can even get like NASCAR, your favorite driver gear, I think. I don't know.
I think I know definitely Formula One.
So there you go. All right. And she would know. I don't know how, but she would know. Anyway, it has become a tradition every year, and this year is no different. So before we get to that, know that we're going to be talking about all the postseason awards as we do on our final episode that we haven't already gotten to. We've got the Big Four as well as the MLB teams, all MLB teams, the first and second team. So we'll talk about all of that. But first, it's tradition time. As it has become tradition here on the Sibling Rivalry Baseball Podcast, final episode of the year. And it's almost Thanksgiving, so most people talk turkey. We talk disco turkeys. And as has been in the past, we welcome back Greg Sullivan onto the show to talk about a team that's always in the front running for every single free agent that's out there. So you're going to have to tell us what's going on with your chase of Juan Soto.
We are not able to disclose at this moment where we are or are not with Juan Soto.
Neither,
but he would be a very interesting piece to add to our roster for next summer.
I can't even imagine you guys. How would you handle the crowds?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I think that would be exciting. You know, I mean, we've gone after Albert Pujols in the past. We've gone after, we've had some interest in a lot of big players. Andrew Jones would be a nice one. I'd like to get Andrew Jones.
That would be perfect, especially if he's finally voted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
this year, get him out there playing for you. Yeah. And I was pretty sure that when they were talking about the airplane last year going to Toronto, that there was really another plane that was coming to North Carolina. And Shohei was not going to be a Dodger. He was going to be a 100 player in the for the Disco Turkeys in the Summer Wood Bat League.
If he could get 100 at bats, he might hit 100 home runs. It's a little, I think the most we usually will see is maybe 150 or so. We have to give guys repetitions. So, even the best player on the team will have a day off here and there because we're, trying to develop all the players. But, we get guys that get 100 plus at bats pretty regularly, but not, no one's at 100 home runs. Not the norm.
Yet. Not yet.
Not the norm. Yeah.
Well, that guy is probably going from the Disco Turkeys to the Dodgers if he's hitting a home run, 100 home runs in a short season like that. Then.
Yeah, it would be interesting, like like if somebody like Barry Bonds wanted to come pad his status as home run king, hit 25, 30 more, they could just add it to the notes under the asterisks,
Yeah, there you go. And then winter meetings, we'll find out whether the Miami Marlins are going to be replaced by the Disco Turkeys.
Yeah, I mean, it's every year it's them or the Nationals, in the NL East. It seems like that's vying to be in our league instead of theirs and making way for us. I mean, yeah, I think we could do it.
Might be a spot for you in the AL Central.
Well, there's a lot of
White Sox.
stadiums available right now. Oakland has a facility, St. Pete might have one, but then, there's roof remnants on everywhere.
Well, as long as you don't play when it's raining, you'll be fine. Get out there like some sort of a project, get some folks that need to do some community service and take them on down to Tampa.
People like that around, I'm sure. And I did read that, there were 2 MLB stadiums named after orange juice companies as of like a couple of days ago, and now there's 0 because the Astros changed their stadium name, and the Rays lost their facility for the year. So we've got some orange juice companies to call to see if they want to name one of our parks.
Well, I'm sure that Truist would probably not want that, but it would be nice to break some up, because isn't just about everything on the East Coast? Truist Field, Truist Park, Truist. I think we've talked about this in the past.
Yeah, and we don't play. So I guess last year we were kind of in a flux of playing a few games at a Truist facility and beginning to play some games at Wake Forest University's Couch Ballpark. So it's named after a donor and not a company. And 2024 was our first year where we made the full move to where that's our primary facility. So the Disco Turkeys are playing at Couch Ballpark at Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem, and love it over there. It's a turf facility, so a little different. Mm-hmm. But we played our game on July 4th, and the team across town did not get to play. So sometimes turf is a win.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah, because the whole different surface and much more amenable to different things. And last year when we talked, you had there was something in the works, but you couldn't tell us at that time.
Oh, okay.
And then we know later on through social media and your website that you guys stopped being an independent team.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was wondering where we were going with that. Yes. So last year was this past summer was our first summer as members of the Southern Collegiate Baseball League. It's been around for 20 something years and has a connection with Major League Baseball. It receives some funding from MLB. So MLB partners or partially funds. I don't know the exact number, but it's something like 15 or so kind of not leagues that are nonprofits, but also have been around for a long time and have some good credibility. So our league that we've recently joined is one of those, and is really kind of the one for this area. And then the Cape Cod League, which is a very well-known summer wood bat league, probably the most well-known. They're a member of that as well. The Valley League in Virginia, which is another one of the handful of best-known facilities. Yeah, so we joined the Southern Collegiate Baseball League sometime around this time last year, I guess. And Yeah, and it was good. I think it, gave us some new teams to play, and gave us some new rivalries, and that was good for the players and good for the fans, and a lot of good competitive baseball last summer.
Awesome. So anybody stand out that you think may be on the track to find their way to the bigs, and when they get their MVP, thank Greg Sullivan and the Carolina Disco Turkeys for helping them along?
Yeah, if they get that far, they've got a handful of other people to thank too, and we're a piece of it. But yeah, I think so. Trying to think, we did have a few. We had some Wake Forest players last year again, which they're always really good. One player who had been at Wake Forest, but he transferred to High Point University, Charlie Jones. He pitched for us last year, and he seems like someone that's got a very bright future. I think he's someone that looks like a future pro ball player, or, I feel like I could say that. And, definitely a lot of guys from last year's team have pro potential. Getting to the bigs is a little tougher to project just because of how good those guys really are. We did find out last year, during the course of our season, one of our former players, Austin St. Laurent, was drafted by the Seattle Mariners organization. And we had another player from a former team for 2023 last year or this year who signed with the Padres organization. So we had our first, we've had a handful of players play professionally, but they've played in like places like the Pioneer League, which are like partner league MLB organizations. But this year, that was another step for our organization as we started getting players signing with MLB organizations.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that bad. Well, how many years now? Because I remember we talked to you right as you were getting everything started, right before your first season.
Yeah.
And does it feel like things are continuing to progress in the manner that you wanted them to? Slower, faster?
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I think on the player side, absolutely. That kind of tells you it's a process, because like the player who was drafted this summer, he was on our first team. So, it was after his freshman year of college, going into his sophomore year of college. And his coaches put him in some different places around the country. Some summers he might not have played because he was either injured or, had, some other plan. But yeah, so that's 2021, and in 2024 he's drafted. So it makes me think, there's still probably some guys from that 2021 team that may still have a shot to get drafted. And then certainly, our 2022 and 23 and 24, if it takes 3 years to find out sometimes, I mean, it's a little bit of you don't really know for a while, what you kind of have an idea what the ceiling is, and then kind of how good each team is, but sometimes you don't know quite how far someone's going to go, because sometimes we're getting players, between their junior and senior year of college. Sometimes we're getting them early, as underclassmen. So those guys, they'll be pretty good, but they could be way better in a couple of years.
Right. Well, that's cool. How'd you guys end up with the season there? I mean, I know it's like about the development is the biggest thing, but
yeah,
being competitive and having a good time, because we all know, probably could ask just about anybody on the Chicago White Sox after this last season. Losing's not that much fun,
Yeah.
even if you're getting playing time.
Yeah.
So
No, it's a good question. We were our fans were very happy because it was by far the best we've ever played at home. Um, you know, we look back and like on weekend games and holiday games and all that, I think we were 9-1. And then I think overall at home, we might have been something like 17-2, 17-3, something like that. And then kind of the opposite on the road. So we were I think a little over 500, and so it was a little bit of I do think we had a really good team this past year. But our strength of schedule is very strong compared to previous seasons. So, I think we had a slightly better record the year before, but played much tougher competition this past year. So it's a little bit of not apples to apples, but yeah, definitely a very big home and road split. So, I mean, if you have to do it one way or the other, you prefer it to be playing well at home in front of the fans, I guess. But, maybe the other teams feel the same way. I don't know. But it was they kind of ran into some tough pitching on the road, but yeah, I mean, a good season overall, and had a lot of good players, had some good accolades with, the guy getting drafted and another player signing with the Padres. And, we're hoping we can build on that, get even more, elite prospects like that, and use what we've done to get some attention and grow and get better and better players as we go along.
awesome. Well, that's good. I always like to hear something's good going there, and it's it's especially when it's in the development stage. It's like here, this is part of the road too, and people forget about everything that happens.
Yeah.
For many of us, our baseball careers ended. For me, high school was the end of it. For others, maybe a little farther, a little less, little league. It's like, you don't really realize, and seeing that, baseball, and still seeing people wanting to do something. There's still hunger out there. So it's cool that you're seeing that success. What's next for the Disco Turkeys as far as like how you're growing? Obviously, you still want to bring in the highest caliber kids and have a program that they want to come to, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Really building on what we've started with Wake Forest University's facility. So, trying to continue to grow the fan base at Wake, and they've had a good baseball program, so that's helped us in the summertime over there because people are already talking about baseball in that part of town, and getting used to going there for entertainment and to see some good baseball. So building on that, working with those guys, and I think doing more and more to keep the fans excited and engaged. And then just on the baseball side, just I mean, really, it's the same philosophy we've had. It's get some players with some local ties, get some players for some good schools that people can root for a school program in the spring and be like, okay, those guys are from my school or over here in the summer, and kind of engage a lot of fan bases and bring people together.
And how about from your standpoint? You had mentioned something earlier we were talking about, because my background, even though we're just audio here, my background, I've got the old Angel Stadium. And you mentioned something about having a big A with another team. Do you have a second team you're working with now, or?
Yeah, we've been so last year was the second year of a team we have in Albemarle, North Carolina. It's an hour and 10 minutes south of Winston-Salem, and they've got a cool facility that's a little different. It's used to be a community college ballpark, and we've been doing a lot of upgrades with the city, and it's parts of the park are a little bit of we can really imagine what we can do with it as far as, there's not really, kind of like the Angel Stadium, like, we could do something kind of crazy, but probably not, that big A you're talking about is a little, that might be a lot of an engineering feat. It's a cool facility. It's got a swamp kind of thing behind the outfield, like a cool one with like a little dock on it and stuff. So we might have to have some like fishing tournaments before some games or something.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I've actually been to a tractor pull in Albemarle years and years ago.
Wow.
If for those listening here, you haven't heard Jana's voice yet, because Jana's been dealing with technical difficulties. But when I said that she remembered the tractor pull, I guess, because she started nodding her head. Yeah, our grandparents used to live in a little place called Aquadale.
I've heard of Aquadale.
Albemarle was the biggest nearby town. So
yeah.
And I remember we were there one summer and we went to a tractor pull there in good old Albemarle.
Yeah, it's a nice town. It's got a lot of character. It's got a good sense of community, and it's very different from Winston-Salem, because Winston-Salem's you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. Not at Los Angeles by any means, but still, a bigger commercial city, I guess. And Albemarle, it's got all the stuff you need. It's got some, great people, but it's very much, kind of Americana, a little bit of a good old baseball town. So, that team's done really well, and they're in the league as well with the Disco Turkeys, and it's become a nice rivalry, and, good players, good coaches down there as well.
I was curious about, because I saw the Ultimate Yacht Rocker this year. We went, and saw my son and I, because my husband wouldn't go, to see Christopher Cross.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because I love Christopher Cross, but he does not. Anyway, so I thought it was really cool that you guys did alternate names. You did the Yacht Rockers. And I was wondering how that came about. Because I sometimes will listen to Yacht Rock on Sirius XM. So
that's awesome. Yeah, no, I think, of course, with the music related name, we thought that might be an area where we could have some fun and branch out, try something new. We really get into music a lot at our games. We, spend a little more time than the average team, I would guess, making a playlist and things like that, because we know, music's part of what our thing is and why people might be there. So it was a good chance to, mix things up a little bit. And, I have thought about this some of late, and kind of the connection there. And it's, disco is a music that has gone through periods, where it was disrespected or disregarded or whatever. So, I do think Yacht Rock shares that, where, obviously it was popular in its time, and then, became kind of a thing people stopped talking about for a while, as it kind of lost its urgency, I guess. And then over time, kind of like disco, I think people have been less repulsed by it, or whatever was causing people to turn it off. Now I feel like a lot of people are just like, I want to leave that song on and let it ride. So I think that is the connection, and it's a pretty strong connection. I don't know that there's too many other genres that capture that sensation quite like that. And it was a lot of fun. We had, I was telling somebody, that we had at least a couple dads of players in the crowd that seemed to be really into the Yacht Rockers. And I don't know if they were like, just thought it was fun that there was Yacht Rock, or if they were like, that was really their thing, or if it was like, something they listened to from time to time. Because I do feel like, you'll see a lot of breweries or bars or restaurants, they'll have a yacht rock night every once in a while. So I think and it's and disco is probably the same way. Like, even if people aren't everyday disco people or everyday yacht rock people, there's a lot of people that are going to put it on every once in a while now. It seems to have a place in the American catalog, I guess. So that was fun. And, for the organization, we certainly sold some shirts and hats and have still been doing that, but for the Yacht Rockers logo. But I think it also, more than that, really got some buzz going for the season, ahead of the season. So I think that was a lot of fun. And one of our couple or alternate brands that really got people talking, and I think getting people talking around town or on the internet is always something we want to do.
So are you going to bring them back this next season?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I don't really know how, and maybe we're still kind of working through if there's a tie-in, like a specific reason to bring them back on a specific day, So we do have some lakes around here and some new parks opening and stuff. So, if there's like a big like water day around the area, or a big concert that comes to town, or during the summer that pairs well with it, we might try to time it with something else to give it a little sense of urgency. And we did have a band that played at the game last year, so but like there's some there's a couple of pretty big yacht rock cover bands that are like, they're kind of like cover bands that play like a variety of singers' songs, not like tribute to one artist. So there's one in that plays a lot in Winston-Salem called what are they called? Can't remember their name, but I think it's like Camel City Yacht Review or something like that, something along those lines. And I've seen a few in the Southeast, so I don't know if it's like that where you guys are, but it seems to be that there have been some bands created to fill this demand for yacht rock.
Well, I know Kenny Loggins, when he came through on tour, I think last year, his opener was like that Yacht Rock Review or something, a band, something like that, and that was his opening band around the tour.
Yeah.
Well, you brought up Camel City, and you also played as the Camel City Humps.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know that Winston-Salem is also known as Camel City.
It is, yeah. It's a big tobacco growing area historically, or at least production. I guess some of the areas north of town are very big on, production, and around the state for, I don't know. I guess it's North Carolina and Virginia, and maybe a few other places where it's historically been grown. And there's still some production facilities in the region here, and Reynolds American is still has a very big presence here. I'd have to look up kind of it. I think they work with a British company, or have at certain times, so I'm not really up to speed on kind of where where it's headquartered or whatever, but downtown there's like a big corporate presence for some of those guys. And so yeah, Winston cigarettes, there's that connection. So the Winston-Salem, I guess there's a Salem cigarette too, and then Camels, of course. And yeah, this reminds me of like when I worked at a family member's gas station when I was a kid, remembering all those weird brands back when half the people in America smoked.
Right.
Right.
Well, I never would have thought that it was, I guess, related to tobacco. But going back to the tractor pull story,
Yeah.
they handed out and I was little.
Anybody
who wanted it, I think, could get a can of chewing tobacco. So
Yeah, what was that? It was Workhorse chewing tobacco, and when you walked through the gate, they handed you a pouch. Didn't
Yeah.
matter
Wow.
who you were.
Yeah,
how
that's
old
pretty,
you were.
pretty wild. Well, that doesn't happen anymore, and
No.
it's like it's
You weren't doing that when you played as a Camel City Humps, passing
no,
out.
no. Yeah, it's yeah, it's that's interesting. No, I mean, but the Camel City, like there's a lot of businesses in our town that use the name Camel City. Some that like seem to intentionally stay away from it, and some that do, but like most of them, it's kind of so common here. It's just what I mean. Like there's a coffee shop down the street from me at my house called Camel City Coffee. There's Camel City Goods. It's like a t-shirt place. People buy t-shirts and
Camel City Playhouse. I see. I just Googled this.
Yeah. So it's all over.
Camel City Barbecue Factory.
That place is pretty good. Yeah.
I learned something because when I'm thinking of camel, I'm thinking of the animal. And that was the logo is a camel, right? So on the jerseys.
And it was fun, to get the hump, the camel going, and I always like a good animal mascot, and peacocks and camels are both very fun animals. You see them at zoos and parks, and kids think camels are cool, just like kids think peacocks are cool.
And underserved, really, just like we talked about in the past. Turkeys in general, but then peacocks. How many peacock teams are there out there?
There's not very many.
When was the last time you saw a camel team?
Well, there is one on the other side of our state. There's a Campbell University.
Oh, okay, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just an alliteration thing. I don't know if there's any other reason for why they've got that, but
that's probably why camels. That kind of works. Rolls off the tongue.
Well, and I love that you guys played on Wednesday.
Oh yeah,
Hump Day.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think that's one of the things I love about the Disco Turkeys. You guys really are very thoughtful about your promotions and what you do. And so yeah.
Well, we try to be, and if you got to play on Wednesdays, you might as well have fun with it, So and it is something. I mean, whatever you got to do to get people wanting to leave the house on a Wednesday,
Yeah, that's true. That's the day I like to go out because there's less people.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of people in the big picture. The blue Yacht Rockers T-shirt. I'm looking at the website now.
Oh yeah,
that screams yacht rock. That color blue, it's perfect for that Yacht Rockers. And yeah, I like the humps as well. And then the hat alone, the humps hat. I love it.
Yeah. It's been kind of interesting seeing people get into it, the people do like the dark blue hump shirt and the gray hump shirt. I think that logo is very popular with the camel.
I like the navy shirt there. Yeah, that one looks good with the yellow, stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, more stuff. I haven't looked at the merchandise in a while. I have a hat and I have a T-shirt.
Yeah.
My T-shirt was we traded.
Oh, that's right.
Traded shirt. So you got one of ours and I got one of yours.
People around town are probably like, "What's this podcast? I'll check it out."
That's right. Well, that's the hope.
Yeah.
You can be our walking advertisement.
That's it. He's the walking billboard. Greg, our walking billboard in North Carolina rep.
Yeah. So thinking about like the yacht rockers and the Camel City humps. I mean, this is kind of a trend that you see across baseball. I mean, especially, the minor leagues. Like here, like in Albuquerque, they have the Isotopes, but they also play as the mariachis, and then they also play as the green chili cheeseburgers sometimes.
Cool name. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like I don't know, it's like one of those things that is you have your original name, but then you have it's obviously marketing, because now Jeff wants a Yacht Rock T-shirt and he wants a Camel T-shirt.
Yeah.
So it works.
Yeah, I was just looking at the gray tee. I like I like them both, but I like that gray tee because I like that guy. I like the yacht rocker guy there.
Yeah,
The
he's
big-
cool.
Yeah.
He's cool. Yeah, he gets a lot of love. People like the tan. People like the smile and the sunglasses. I mean, he's got the spirit of the yacht rocker.
He does. He does indeed. It screams yacht rocker right there. I can see the deck shoes as we speak.
Yeah, and Jana, you're asking about, or you're mentioning the trend, and yeah, I agree with you. I think a lot of teams around the country have been doing some of that. So yeah, I mean, we enjoy it. We enjoy seeing how we can expand what we do, and get attention for the team, and get the fans excited. It definitely gets us a good buzz going into the season. It's also a very short season though. We play like 2.5 months. So, it's just kind of figuring out the right amount of that kind of stuff to do. We want people to like remember our main name, main stuff. So, but I do like every once in a while giving people something different, and without overdoing it, because I do think some of the teams around the country, maybe do it a little too much. It's their call, it's their brand, and kind of everyone has to figure out, is selling a few extra hats and shirts, how much of this is worth it, and how much of it is, we want to just do what we do, So that's the question. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just everybody's got to figure it out.
Yeah, no, I think you guys are doing a really good job. You always are, whenever, and your Twitter game, or X, is on point. I just saw before I was getting ready to attempt several times to get on, that people were praying for the disco turkeys this Thanksgiving. So you've got those people that are reaching out to you, making sure
I feel like
Boogie is okay.
Starting to get people checking in on our mascot Boogie, and next week is when we should really get worried. He's not going to any grocery stores right now. He's not going to any fast food restaurants. He's staying low. Kind of working
sandwich shops. Probably not a good idea either.
No, stay away from sandwich shops. He's got to be very careful this time of year.
Well, maybe you got to get him up the road up there to get pardoned by the president. Did he do that every year? Pardons a turkey.
Yeah, there's still a little time, I guess, to get a pardon.
I was just watching an episode of West Wing.
Yeah.
And there was two, and they didn't want to. The other one, the one that wasn't pardoned, was going to go back and was sold to somebody for their Thanksgiving, and the press secretary didn't want to send the other one back, and their whole conversation. I already pardoned one. I can't pardon the other one. So they ended up inducting them into military service. So he was an army turkey at that point. So that way they could avoid. So maybe, there's that angle. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. So let's say I don't want my disco turkey having bone spurs or something.
You can't eat me. I have a bad knee. what is, I mean, I know it's probably, how much time do you really get away? The season, like you said, is about 2.5 months, starts around Memorial Day, right? Give or
Yeah.
take.
Yeah.
And then you're into like what, mid-August?
No,
Somewhat, or
not even mid-August. Yeah, like
I
kind
guess
of
they're
around
getting
August
back to
1. Yeah.
school, right?
Yeah, they're back in school. They go back to school pretty early in this part of the country. So when we used to play a little more up against the northern teams, they would go back to school late in September, but most of our guys go back in August. And yeah, I think where you're going with that, like we're already completely prepping for next year. It's full speed at this point. Recruiting players, selling sponsorships, and starting to talk to people about tickets and all that. So it's busy.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the hard part of it, right? They probably easier finding players than this some of that other stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's different, it's a little more, some people are 9 to 5. The players, they're kind of whenever they're answering emails, or coaches are emailing us, whatever. So.
And then, like, now that you're part of a league, how much scheduling and things like that or before, I know as an independent, you're kind of like a college coach, you're out there working it out and setting up deals for series and stuff. Is that less of an issue now? I mean, do they handle it with the league, or do you still have to work out?
It's a little of both. I mean, we do still schedule a few games ourselves with rivals that aren't in the league, and that's pretty much done at this point. There's a few teams we'll play from some other good quality leagues. Like we like to play other good teams if we play out of the league at all. So there's a team called the High Toms that are a rival, we would say, and they're like 20 minutes away. So, and they've got a good team, so we like to play them once a year. They've been around a long time, and kind of one of the teams that knows what they're doing. There's a lot of teams around that, in some leagues that don't really know what they're doing. So we like to put our players against other quality teams, and, our league's quality. And then there's a couple really good leagues in our state, the Coastal Plain League, and then also there's a good team in the Appalachian League in our state. So, those kind of teams we'll look at and play a game or two against sometimes. But I think to your point, it's, who you're going to play, kind of about how many times you have to play them. So there's a little bit of like who gets what weekend, who gets what day, but a decent chunk of that is off the plate. So that does help. And it does, the schedule is a little more balanced now, like it's when you're an independent, because other teams are playing league schedules, it's a little bit all over the place, but now it's a little more, you see roughly the same caliber of team, of kind of this, 4 or 5 times a week. And that a lot of players like that. And it's probably good stability, it's makes it's fun when you play teams that are kind of in, doing the same thing you're doing.
Right on. What happened to her now?
I don't know.
Had a question I needed her to be here for. What in the world?
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm having children issues. They're old enough to
You know what?
to know better.
About 21 plus years ago, you started having children issues.
Well, almost. Yeah. Getting close.
Well,
Yeah.
that's right. He's 21 next year, right?
Yeah.
January.
Yeah.
Well, but started up. You decided you had to live through all that. Then he showed
Oh,
up.
I wouldn't trade him, but they drive me nuts.
Yeah, I don't think that's allowed in your league.
In my
Trade.
Oh yeah, you can't trade kids. No.
darn it.
Yes.
Because I got 2 I could send to North Carolina.
Yeah, we haven't done a good trade. That would be, that'd be the next step because you
Oh.
kind of like stick with the guys you sign. I mean, you add some players. If somebody gets hurt or if you need an extra pitcher. But like that would be, I don't know. I mean, getting called into the office for a summer baseball team and told we're sending you to this other town, they'd be like so upset.
You're on your way to Albemarle. Sorry.
Yeah. Queen City Corn Dogs. How about that? I like that
Oh
one.
yeah, they're a good rival.
That'd be tough. Your season's 2.5 months, so you get traded.
Yeah, it would be a lot of paperwork to trade.
Yeah.
No doubt. Well, you know what? It's part of the development. Once you get to the bigs, you can expect that this might happen. That whether you're in single A or in the bigs, manager might call you in and tell you, pack your stuff. You're not playing today. Grab your Uber to go across town to go play with whoever.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. Have you? I saw some buzz about it, but Juan Soto. Has the Disco Turkeys met with Juan Soto?
You weren't here earlier. That was my first question.
Perfect.
And he could neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I was late to the party.
He did kind of. He didn't specifically say yes, but remember last year when there was a plane going to Toronto?
Yes.
And everybody thought that Shohei was either in Japan or Newport Beach at his house.
Yes.
There was another plane that landed in a quiet airfield in North Carolina.
Okay. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on that because I know they're always a team at, another team. He's talking to another team. So it must have been the Disco Turkeys. That's right.
Well, whatever they say, mystery team now involved.
Yeah.
We know who it is.
We're the ultimate mystery team.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, thanks for enlightening me on that.
And then we'll know in the winter meetings whether they're going to take over from Miami and East.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams we could replace right now, I think,
Yeah, with White Sox.
I was just going to say that's the big one.
Yeah, the Nationals are looking like they might be coming out of their downtime. Maybe.
Yeah.
And they may end up with Juan Soto as well.
Well, that would be something.
Go back there after he denied them their chance to extend him.
If we were to say hypothetically get Juan Soto, then would the Nationals have to go to our league and we go to the Nationals spot?
Right. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's what.
And you already have all the marketing. You're already.
We're ready for the bigs. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. We
big league game. Now the problem though is that after you get to the end of July, beginning of August, your team consists of Juan Soto.
Right.
Yeah. We'll find some guys. we'll go like, kind of looking down walk up and down the street and seeing who wants to play. And I think at this point we could probably field a team of alumni, around. We could probably find a few. So I think we can make do with Juan Soto. I'd love to see, how we would do. I do think, it's kind of like one of those, if a tree falls in the forest, does anyone know or see it or hear it? That kind of thing. I think we're in Nationals television country, like in their territory, but I'm not really sure because I don't know anyone who's ever watched a Nationals game. So
Well,
we could
why
just
would
take
they?
over their deal. We could take over their deal now and just go ahead and start because more people would watch
There you go.
ours.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
say. Why would they if they can they could watch yours, and of course they could be there at the stadium.
Yeah, and like I don't think most people like more than 50% of people in North Carolina care particularly about the Braves or anybody else, but like the idea that even part of North Carolina is like the Nationals territory is pretty humorous because if anything, like it might be the Braves or somebody like that. I don't know. It's also that was kind of amusing that and when I lived in Nashville, it was like we got the Reds games, and it was kind of the same thing. Like in Memphis, people, there's some Cardinals fans out that way, but like Nashville, at least when I lived there, it was still pretty much Braves country, But for whatever reason, I guess they draw the circle, and that's what they get.
When we lived, and I don't know who they're with now, but the Sounds were when we lived up in Clarksville. The Sounds were the Reds, AAA team at that time.
Yeah, I think last I saw they were the Brewers. I think they've been the Athletics in the past. They've been everything pretty much, but yeah, Clarksville, not too far down the road.
No, not at all. Well, what you need to do is see if you can, do a little barnstorming with your team. And Oakland, you mentioned, we were talking earlier about open stadiums. Oakland's got the Ballers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they're trying to, do something there. And I'm sure as soon as now that the A's are going to be out of there, the city was fine with them coming to play a game, and the A's vetoed it as long, this last season, even though they weren't going to be there.
I saw that, and that is funny.
So maybe you guys could come and play the Ballers in Oakland.
It'd be cool.
Come down, hang out with the Peacocks in Arcadia, and then
yeah.
At that point, we might be able to, get you in with the Dodgers for exhibition. Although you can't make them look bad.
we could schedule. I don't know if it's okay to say this. Could we schedule the A's? I mean, excuse me, the Angels in October sometime?
Sure, that's the only way they're going to play in October, so you might as well. And that'd be perfect because then we could really find out if Trout and Rendon are hurt, because by then, end of the season, they take everybody off of the 60 days or the IL, all of the injured list. So they're off. It's like, okay, so you guys are really better. Then here come the disco turkeys. See what you can do.
Has Trout ever played in a MLB uniform in October before?
Once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in 2014, the last time the Angels were in the playoffs.
So it's more than a decade. We could give him that chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely, yeah. You could definitely.
What was it last year? Somebody we know that is on a different podcast. He had us on his, and he was joking. He's like, "Hey, Angels get to play in October this year because last couple of games of the season were like 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of October."
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Take what we can get, right?
Yeah. Well, the Expo stadium's up there, and if it's available, I think there's an extra one in Arlington or somewhere like that. They got an old facility.
Well, I was going to bring up last year when we talked, Jana had asked about coming back to throw out a first pitch if that was something that was workable. Yeah. And I think we were like, yeah. And then the way things worked out, we ended up actually going to the All-Star game in Arlington.
Oh, cool.
And spent a couple of days because the All-Star Fan Fest was in what was the ballpark at Arlington. Now it's Choctaw Stadium.
Choctaw, yeah.
Like okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's right across the street from the grill. And so we were there. It was like somebody asked me, "Did you have a good time?" I said, "In the game, it was fun. Outside of the game, it was 103 degrees, 105 degrees,
no.
and 98% humidity. So it was like, eh. Yes, it was an experience on many levels. But so yeah, we could do that. You could go have a game there at Choctaw Stadium. You could play at the Coliseum. What was Montreal? What's Olympic?
Olympic, yeah. I want to say I saw they were like doing some work on it, like converting it into like maybe apartments or something. You know, they have they have a lot of activity in there still.
Well, maybe that's where the Rays will end up.
Well, did you know their original stadium is still standing? It is a tennis facility.
Oh, really?
For the Expos, yeah.
Huh.
They turned it into a tennis facility. It was. I don't think it was a good. Considered a good baseball facility. You know, it was kind of like, just a bunch of bleachers and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what was the name of that back when it was the Montreal Royals.
Like their minor league team.
Yeah, when they were I think the AAA team for the Dodgers, and trying to remember what the name of the field was up there before they changed that and they got the major league team.
We could go up there and be the top dogs in Montreal.
There you go.
And
Les Disco Turkeys.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that the Ballers are around though. In Oakland.
Absolutely. More baseball. That's all that matters. And the fans in Oakland, I'm not sure whether I should be sad for them or happy for them or, just like Angels, I'm not sure if we should be happy or sad. Yeah, we got a team, but I'm not sure how to feel about that. As long as
at least Los Angeles has a couple teams.
True enough, and one of them then is the the world champion. Yeah. Stop smiling, champ.
You have no idea how many times I have watched Freddie Freeman hitting that grand slam, the fifth inning of Game 5, over and over.
Yeah.
So great.
I made the mistake of wearing a Dodgers hat to see my barber who grew up a Yankees fan. Here I got a guy with scissors and a straight razor.
Oh no.
Working on me.
That's dangerous.
That was not a good move.
No, he was like, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel when you came today because I'm not sure that I'm over it yet.
Yeah.
So
that's funny.
All right. So are we, if we can make it work out on our end, are we still good? We definitely need to come to a Disco Turkeys game regardless.
Come on down. It'd be awesome. If you can get out here, we can get you to throw out a pitch.
Okay. Yeah, I know Janet's got to start planning on that.
I know. I have to start practicing.
Yeah.
After we talked last time, she was like all excited about it, and then she started thinking, "Uh-oh, if I go, I actually have to do this now."
Yeah, and I don't want to be like, 50 Cent or I don't want to hit. Who is the person that hit the mascot with the ball? I don't want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'll just start practicing now, and and if it works out, it works out.
Okay.
You're gonna have to find somebody that knows how to play catch over there.
Yeah. Well, I have a whole baseball team at the high school, so I can do that. Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, as always, Greg, it is nice to check in with you and see how things are going in North Carolina and with the Disco Turkeys. We're always keeping up with the fun and games.
Yeah.
Fearing the peacock. Now we know to fear the camel as well.
Yeah.
And fear the yacht rocker.
Must fear the yacht rocker. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and when you look at him, he looks like if you took him away from the yacht rock thing, he could also be like you guys could be like the asylum, because he looks like he could be a crazy guy.
I was thinking he could be like an all-star wrestler.
Okay. Yeah.
You got that too. Yeah.
Hollywood guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The wrestler. Yeah, you guys and I don't know how it is there. I remember when we lived in in the South down there. That was uh, prime wrestling territory, and the NWA and
It's a thing,
and the Mid-South Wrestling Alliance, and they were always playing North Carolina and the off
Yeah.
places, and
Yeah,
that
it's
would be
it's
good.
popular. It's got a crowd for sure.
That could be good, and you could have the mascots out there hitting each other with chairs.
Yeah, let's do it.
That could be fun. I could pile drive Jana. And then
I was gonna say, volunteering to
make her
wrestle
get
now.
up and throw the first pitch.
That's first pitch, just one thing. We'll have to get a good liability waiver for you if you try to wrestle at a game.
I don't know about pile driving or clothes hang. What I don't know. Clothes. It's not clothes hanger. That doesn't sound right.
Do that. What is that? Is suplex? Just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah, you definitely would have to get liability.
probably more for me. I'm probably more liable to get hurt than you are
right.
trying to do a move like that. Anyway, it was awesome. Thanks for setting through all of the technical difficulties.
Yeah, sorry.
And Jana and her brood.
You got it. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, we love this. This is favorite time of years because we get to chat with you and see what's going on. Get ready for the next, because we're not worried about the Major League Baseball. It's the next disco turkey season.
That's right. Keep the priorities where they need to be. Let's keep Boogie off the dinner table and get through the holidays and have a good, healthy roster and a good, healthy mascot come 2025.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks as always to Greg Sullivan of the Carolina Disco Turkeys. He is definitely one of our favorite people and our favorite guest. We've had him on more than anybody else.
Yeah.
We've
number
been
one
talking-
guest.
Yep. He's like Ethel Merman on the Ed Sullivan Show. She had been on there like 30, 40 times. He's been on our podcast, 4 or 5 now. From the very first season, before they'd even started the season, we talked with him about their first season coming up as the Disco Turkeys. Check them out. It is at Disco Turkeys on X. I think they're also on Blue Sky. Yeah, I only said X because it's not ours.
Right.
But Twitter is what I'm talking about. They're there. Check them out. They've always got some fun going on their Twitter page. All right. So last week we didn't get to it, even though it had been announced, just in the interest of time. And so we're going to get to it this week before we get to the Big Four, the all MLB teams. And I guess because she thinks she's the more important person on this show, Jana's going to take the first team.
That's right.
Insist.
I insist. Dodgers won the World Series, and I'm taking the first team.
Well, that's where most of the Dodgers are. So,
all right, yeah, the All MLB team was announced in Las Vegas during the MLB weekend, and we're going to start off in the outfield. First team, probably no surprise, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, and Mookie Betts. And I'm going to go, I don't know, third base. We'll just go third base. Kind of a different way around the horn. Jose Ramirez, first team. Ketel Marte at second base. Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop. William Contreras at catcher. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Vladdy Jr. at first base. The DH, Shohei Ohtani. And then starting pitching, Tariq Skubal, Chris Sale, Paul Scanes, Zach Wheeler, and Corbin Burns. And then relief, Emmanuel Clase and Ryan Helsley of the Cardinals.
The relievers of the year.
That's right.
Yeah, there's some good names there. And honestly, when I look through it, one name that stands out to me, and I'm pretty sure that when we get to the MVPs, I kind of don't think we're going to say his name. But after I went back and looked, I think that this one guy probably should have been the AL MVP. We'll talk about that in a minute. Here's the second team. I'm going to do it more traditionally, starting behind the plate with this year's Roberto Clemente Award winner, catcher Salvador Perez from the Royals. The Phillies, Bryce Harper slots in at first. Tiny in at second base. Francisco Lindor, along with Ketel Marte, one of the finalists for the MVP award, is at shortstop from the Mets. Manny, not my cup of tea, Machado is at third base here on the second team. Jackson Merrill in the outfield from the Padres. Jarren Duran, who we saw at the All-Star game, and
Yes,
who
we
was
did.
the All-Star MVP.
Yes, I called it.
Yes, you did. From the Red Sox, Teoscar Hernandez, the final member of the Dodgers. What was that? 4 Dodgers that made, or 3?
3 Dodgers.
That's right. Mookie, Shohei, and Teoscar Hernandez all made all MLB team. Yordan Alvarez in at the DH from the Astros. From the starting pitchers, a couple of Padres in there from Dylan Cease and Michael King. Seth Lugo from the Royals. Shota Mike Imanaga II with the Cubs. Framber Valdez from the Asterix. Mason Miller from the A's. And Kirby Yates from the Rangers round out. That's the 2 relief pitchers there from for the second team all MLB. All right, let's get to the big 4. Not a lot of surprises, but maybe a little controversy. Let's take a look at the first one out every time is the
Rookie of the year.
Thank you. I don't know why I lost it right there. So why don't you go ahead and tell us who the National League is? You take the National League, I'll take the American League.
All right. So in the National League, Paul Scanes of the Pittsburgh Pirates is your Rookie of the Year. He received 23 of the 30 first place votes. He was the number 1 overall draft pick in 2023. He debuted on May 11th, and he was 11-3 this year with a 1.96 ERA, a 0.95 WHIP, and 170 strikeouts in 133 innings. He also had a 5.9 WAR, which was the 4th in the National League among starting pitchers. And he's the only the second player in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization history to win Rookie of the Year.
Wow. That surprises me.
I
would
know.
have expected one more.
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by this one. I thought it was going to be Jackson Merrill.
I did too. I thought that although Paul Scanes is deserving of this award, I feel like that maybe the writers did get this one wrong and should have gone with Jackson Merrill, because I feel like Jackson Merrill helped San Diego get to the postseason. He switched positions during spring training. He was a shortstop. He went to center field. He was great at the plate for the Padres, and he really was a catalyst for them making it to the postseason. So I felt like that should have come into play in the voting. But it goes to Paul Skades, who I think was excited about being named. I'm not sure. His girlfriend was, but he didn't seem to be too.
And
he was stoic.
There you go. We also got to see him play in the. He started the All-Star game.
Yes.
So that was cool. A couple players that definitely a player we got to see this year. And I want to throw this stat out to start with. No team has ever had all three player awards go to the same team. Rookie, Cy Young, and MVP all go to the same team. Luis Gil became the 10th Yankee to win AL Rookie of the Year. 15 wins this season, 171 strikeouts over almost 152 innings in 29 starts. He definitely helped put keep the Yankees in the mix. Maybe he had to pitch better because Garrett Cole was on his team, and he's like, I want to keep up with this guy. And
yeah, I don't. This one is another one that I kind of a question mark for me. One thing is interesting is he made his debut in 2021, but he never exhausted his rookie eligibility until this season. So that's why he's there. He led the majors with 77 walks. And, his whip 1.19, and as you mentioned, 171 Ks. But Colton Cowser of the Orioles, I felt could have maybe gotten a few more votes to edge him out. It was close. In the voting. I think it was like 106 to 105 or, something like that. But this one was a little bit of a head scratcher for me, but
I had actually forgotten about Heel when I was because the IBWAA voted Colton Cowser.
Yes.
But that was, I kind of was, I wasn't surprised on this one, getting to see him, pitch in the World Series, and have seen him pitch along the way. But I, this one I didn't really think anything about. And I think part of it too is the reason that I remembered him more than like Cowser was because he played longer this season with, playing into the postseason. So a couple rookies, obviously it's the Rookie of the Year, but a couple of pitchers both getting the Rookie of the Years. And it was
since 1981.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah. And it was a Yankee and a Dodger.
Fernando.
Yep. Fernando. Yeah, it was Cowser got 13 first place votes to Hill's 15.
Yeah, and it was close. So
Mason and Miller and Cade Smith of the Guardians, the A's and the Guardians respectively, picked up the other number one or first place votes. All right, that takes us to Managers of the Year.
In the National League, the Manager of the Year is Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers. And that's it, because I think that Dave Roberts should be Manager of the Year.
Well, that's where we go from that. You're right. And I don't think that it was taken into account that he dealt with so many pitcher injuries. No Mookie for a long time. And honestly, if it hadn't been for Shohei stepping up really big during that time that Mookie was gone, who knows where they're at? If
Right.
Shohei slumps during that time frame, and this is the year that almost all Dodger fans, especially the most critical of Dave Roberts, can say, yes, he did a good job this year.
Yeah, no, he did a phenomenal job, and
We
he
were
really
all ready to fire him after Game 4 of the World Series, but
right. Yeah, no, he throughout the whole season he managed different this year. It was a different manager, and I don't know if it's it was more with his gut that he managed. It's definitely I wasn't seeing those same type of moves. The guys coming out of the bullpen. There was a plan, and he knew that plan. And I just think it's a shame that he wasn't even nominated. I mean, great for Pat Murphy. He got his team to the postseason, but
3 votes shy of a unanimous pick. He had 27 first place votes. Mike Schilt, Carlos Mendoza, and Rob Thompson all took first place votes. Dave Roberts did get 3 third place votes,
which makes no sense to me
he should
because
have gotten at least 1 first place vote.
right. And Mike Schilt, I mean, really, come on, no, I totally disagree with this. Dave Roberts is my manager of the year.
Yeah, and I think Mendoza, could have been up there.
Oh yeah,
a little more than even Schilt. Mendoza took a team that was not supposed to do anything and led them through. I guess Mike Schilt gets it because the Padres didn't start off well, even though they started off the season fine with the Dodgers. But after that, they could only beat the Dodgers at the beginning of the season. They couldn't beat anybody else.
right.
And then they turned it around. I think everybody did that. It's like, what have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know how much I give to Murphy. I mean, Murphy's a guy who's been around a long time. As he said, he was brought in to mentor Craig Counsell, and ended up, he said himself, I learned a lot from him as well. But he just took over. Counsell left, and he's been around baseball for years. He's kind of like the guy that you called in out of retirement. He's just like, oh, he's an old coach. He's a bench coach. He's a bullpen coach. He's whatever. And they brought him in. So, he was 8 years as the bullpen coach. So I would hope that he'd do that. And it's not like the team was that much different than what it was the year before.
Exactly.
And they play in the Central.
Exactly.
Although, the Central, the AL Central was a little bit better this last year. All right. This one was crazy. This is like the fastest a manager of the year has gone from a player to being a manager of the year. Stephen Vogt is the American League manager of the year. He actually played with while Pat Murphy was coaching Milwaukee. He was a player with him back in like 2017 when he was the team's bench coach. He took a team that had a lot of issues, especially pitching problems. Some of the big names were out, and led them to the ALCS, a 92-69 record. And as I recall, Cleveland didn't go to the playoffs last year. So he took a team that didn't go to the playoffs last year and took them there this time. And probably had the ball fell a little bit differently, and had they hit in a couple of spots, they may have gone to the World Series against the Dodgers instead of the Yankees. But we know it's all scripted, and that was what Major League Baseball wanted. So there. No Shane Bieber, no Tristan McKenzie. He obviously had Manuel Clase, who he couldn't stop gushing over. I heard him, at the day after he won, talking about, he says, this, when you're a player and you win an award, it's like, yeah, I did this, I did that. He goes, when you're a manager, that just means that everybody that works for you did what they were supposed to do and and allowed you to manage and do what you had to do. He picks up 27 first place votes as well. Kansas City Royals manager Matt Cataro, he was in second with 2. AJ Hinch, which not a surprise that he got some first place votes after taking a Detroit team that wasn't supposed to be anywhere near contending to the playoffs. So good deal there. Let's move on to the Cy Young Award winners.
Yeah, in the National League for the Cy Young Award winner, and I don't think this was really any surprise, totally turned around, Chris Sale. 2.38 ERA, 18 wins, 225 strikeouts or strikes, and then 1.01 whip. And I think it's well deserved.
Comeback Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So he got that award we talked about last week, and he's a Triple Crown pitching winner.
Yeah.
How do you not walk away with this? Zach Wheeler was really the only other pitcher that was close, grabbing the 4 first place votes that Chris Sale didn't get. Yeah, those two, they took up the majority. Paul Scanes was a distant third, followed by Dylan Cease and Shota Imanaga in the top 5 there. Top 5. And then in the American League, another no surprise. I think these were the no-brainers of the awards. The other awards we could discuss why Dave Roberts or why even AJ Hinch could have been ahead of Stephen Vogt. The rookies, there were a couple other guys that could have been. This one, I don't think there was anybody else. When you look at what the pitchers did, yeah, Zach Wheeler had a good season, but he didn't have a Chris Sale type season. And then in the American League, the one guy that at the trade deadline that I kept saying, no, we don't want Jack Flaherty. Give up what you got to give up to get Tarek Skubal. And Skubal with the Cy Young, his very first Cy Young ever. And he also, I believe, was like a Triple Crown winner in the American League as far as the American pitching goes. And he is unanimous. There was no question. Seth Lugo, who came in second, nobody else got a first place vote. Tarek Skubal took them all 30 of them. Seth Lugo, Emmanuel Clase, and then Cole Raggins and Corbin Burns, all there. And I can't remember. I think this is only the second time somebody won an award announced on their birthday.
Oh, wow.
Tarek Skubal turned 28. Now, the interesting thing, and although she stole from us one time, I will not steal from her. Sarah Langs was the one who had this stat. I heard it on MLB radio that the only other player to ever earn an award that was announced on his birthday, Roy Campanella.
Oh, cool.
So, I mean, that's like big gap right there.
Yeah.
18-4 on the season, a 2.39 ERA, 228 strikeouts. I mean, him and Chris Sale were very close.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I mean, Chris Sale had 225. He had 228. Their ERAs were like 239, 238. Both had 18 wins.
Right. So Skubal, who had Tommy John surgery when he was in university. Sorry, I wanted to sound kind of like English.
Right.
He
At hospital.
right at hospital at university. He had a tremendous year, including over like a 2.15 ERA over his final 10 outings. So he was there and was a big part of the Tigers making it as far as they did into the playoffs. All right, and now the final award of the season, and after this, we're going to talk. Some of these guys may very well be talked about later on when we get to Hall of Fame after they're all done with their playing careers. Chris Sale may be sooner than the other guys, but we'll talk about Hall of Fame coming up. But first, it's time for the NL MVP.
And this one, I don't think is a big surprise to anyone, but Clayton Kershaw was the one who announced the winner. Decoy didn't seem to be too impressed, but it's unanimous. Shohei Ohtani is the National League MVP. He is a World Series champion. He is the NL Hank Aaron Award winner, an Silver Slugger, the Edgar Martinez Outstanding Designated Hitter Award, Outstanding Player by the Players' Choice Awards for the National League, All MLB First Teamer, the first 50-50 player in MLB history, and an All-Star, and is the only player to win 3 MVPs. And he is the second player to win an MVP in the American League and one in the National League. And that would that he stands with Frank Robinson,
who did it for the Reds and the Orioles.
That's right.
And unanimous MVP all 3 times.
Yes.
So there was a lot of discussion about whether or not a DH should be or could be the MVP. And, the only thing I could think of, especially for the guys that were talking about it, was that was not long ago. A conversation was, could a DH even get into, like solely a DH get into the Hall of Fame? And then Edgar Martinez, who was primarily a designated hitter. He started as a third baseman, but he became and has the award.
Yes, named after him.
Is a Hall of Famer.
Yes. Yeah. And this is the first primary, as you mentioned, the designated hitter to win the MVP. But you had to go with, he invented the 50-50 club. He had a career high in home runs, RBIs, doubles, stolen bases, hits, and runs. And then think about this. Next year, he's going to pitch. So that's even more exciting. What more is he going to do?
Which, when he was in Anaheim, he won his other 2 MVPs by doing both.
Yes.
So you've got that. And yeah, you know what? He will probably, and not to say that it will never happen again, but I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon. And once he starts pitching I don't think we're going to see the same kind of output that we got this year. But I think that we found a spot that he's happy to be in. I also think that probably one of the biggest things that happened to him this year wasn't necessarily going to the Dodgers. I think it was the freedom that came after what happened with Ipe.
Yeah.
And that,
I think so.
That disconnection made him be more of a part of the team. And Ipe was always a buffer. And I think that him having to be and do more for himself bonded him more with his teammates than he ever was in Anaheim.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's a huge that was huge for him this season. And I think we've talked about the difference that you see in his demeanor and how he was. So yeah, I can't imagine anyone else winning the MVP. I did misspoke. I said he was only like 3. He did it a third time via the unanimous vote, but he's the 12th player to win 3 or more MVPs. But
yeah, I was going to say that
he's not the only. He's the 12th.
Right.
But
yeah,
because
how many
I was thinking
how many does
the
Barry
unanimous. Yeah, no, I was thinking of the unanimous vote. Probably more than anything, but I misspoke, so I'm going to fact check myself right now.
You're fact checked.
I am.
Yeah. He still has 4 more to go to tie Barry Bonds.
Yeah. Yeah. I
but-
knew there was more, but the unanimous part.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. That was it. All right. So I think this one is also going to be real easy. Even though I disagree with this, unanimously, Aaron Judge picks up the MVP for the American League. I mean, here's a guy that honestly last year he had a bigger year home runs wise. But one of the biggest things about when you look at Judge is he had a bad start to the season. He ends April hitting around 200. And over every month after that, he hit, just like crazy. He ends up with a 322 average, the slash line 322, 458, 701, 58 homers, 144 RBIs, and 122 runs. Most of that led MLB. It was him and Shohei that led all that. It doesn't really matter how you look at it. That is an incredible stat line, and he did it after having like one full bad month.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think about Paul Skeens, he didn't pitch for the first month of the season,
and
then did everything, made it as an all-star, became Rookie of the Year. Very similar. A lot of people already wanted to write him off at that point. This is what happens after you sign a big deal and you get over 30. You just see he's had one of the best. This season was another one of the best for him. Now, should he have been unanimous? I don't think so. And most people say, well, after everything, I'm still going to go with Aaron Judge. But I got to tell you, I think when I went back and looked, Aaron Judge won this for being an offensive player. He was a below average outfielder.
Yeah, we saw that in the World Series.
So we're talking about how Shohei only hit. Well, really, that's all that Aaron Judge did in the big picture. Yeah, he made some plays. And I bet you if I put Shohei out in the outfield, he could make some plays too. He knows how to run down and catch a fly ball. He could have done a lot of that stuff and been at least as valuable that way as Judge. But the guy who really overall was the most valuable player, and if you go back to the old arguments about, well, would his team have won without him? Well, the Yankees won when Judge wasn't playing that well. But the Royals only have Bobby Witt Jr. Yes, they had a team that played well altogether, but Bobby Witt Jr. should have had more first base. Maybe he doesn't win it, but he was out of control. When you look at, he won the batting title, the MLB batting title.
Yep.
He had for a shortstop, he was above average in everything that he did. I'm just not sure where people didn't see. I think they're blinded by, and we do this too. We're guilty of this as well.
Yes.
When we talk about games, we don't always, sometimes if it's a spectacular play, we'll talk and say, oh yeah, there was this play or that play that changed something. But we don't always focus in that this player was having a good game. He didn't do well at the plate, but because of his defense, we're also blinded by the bright, shiny things, which offense is.
Yeah, no, totally. And that's what, we are blinded by the 58 home runs, because the year before he hit 62. And
right.
So, broke that record, the Roger Maris. But yeah, I think we're all guilty of that, of looking at, the offense and not always the defense. And we saw some really bad defense in the World Series and some really good defensive plays. So, and of course that's the regular season too. But yeah, maybe we need to be better. We need to be better ambassadors of defense instead of just the offense.
Well, when I go to games, I mean, it's hard when you're watching TV.
Yeah.
The focus is on where the ball is, but
Always.
Baseball is a game that's played away from the ball. A lot of people, I always remember thinking about it the first time I ever heard it and realized baseball's the only game where the defense holds the ball.
That's right. Yeah.
And so when you think of it that way and you start looking at all the stuff, it's where are players? I got at an early age where I watch to see where players are set up. I watch new batter comes up. Where are the players moving?
Mm-hmm.
And now they all have their little, cheat cards, and so they know to adjust a certain way. But it used to be manager would be out there telling to move, or they'd automatically knew from what their pregame meeting was. Oh, Soto's coming up, we're going here. Judge is coming up, we're going here. Whoever is coming, Bryce Harper, whoever it is, Shohei, we're going to do this. That's why you had the shifts. But the shifts became every left-hander is going to have somebody in the hole at second.
Right.
And then everybody else is you're going to play straight up or shade to left field if it's a right-hander, especially a right-hander that pulls. It takes that out, but I'm always looking, where's that adjustment? Sometimes people miss, the pitcher moved from one part of the rubber to the other.
Yeah. I think because I've watched it numerous thousands, infinity times, the fifth inning of Game 5. I think Will Smith was up to bat, and Will Smith doesn't bunt. He's not. I don't think that he did a bunt once this during the regular season. But Anthony Rizzo was like 40 feet from he's thinking he's going to bunt because the situation where the runners were. Anthony Rizzo was like, I think he's going to bunt. He didn't end up bunting, but that was one of those things that defensively, you're like, just go, what are you doing? Just go back to the bag. But he's one of those type of players that he's doing what he thinks is, this is the World Series. I think he's going to bunt. So yeah, that just popped in my head when you're, thinking of where they're positioned. What are they?
Yeah, and you can see, and then you can see the plays that come out of that. Sometimes it doesn't work. Old school baseball has had to change the thought process because hitters hit differently. But when you look at that and you think this is a team that could do that, then there you go. So joining Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt, Juan Soto, Gunnar Henderson, Jarren Duran, all in the top 5 there. Brent Rooker, who we were talking about last week, made into the top 10 with the A's as far as the MVP voting goes. And since we talk a lot of Dodgers here, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Teoscar Hernandez all got some votes for MVP. Freddie picked up 6, Teo with 3, and Mookie with 24. But all of the first place votes went to Shohei. And that's it. I mean, that's a wrap on the MLB, the 2024 season. All the awards have been given out, and now the big part of the season, the hot stove, getting fired up. There's a lot that everybody's every minute of every day there's an update on who's talking to Juan Soto. And I think like anything, even like last year, a lot of, once Shohei was signed, everything else could happen. I don't know that that's the same for Juan Soto, because there's a lot of teams that know they're not going to get Juan Soto.
Right.
There's a lot of teams that it doesn't make any sense for them to get Juan Soto. As much as like any team would love to have him. Oh yeah, Angels, sure, they'd love to have Juan Soto, but they're not going to pay that kind of money for him.
Right. Yeah. And he's looking for, that big contract. I think the same thing, obviously not the same big contract, but Blake Snell, that's why he opted out. We all knew he was going to. Who has he talked to? Did hear that he did have a chat with the Dodgers. Walker Buehler is a free agent, and I thought this was interesting at the USC's SBA Summit. Athletics manager Mark Kotze said that the A's were talking to Walker Buehler, but he didn't want to play in Sacramento. So pretty sure.
Can you blame him?
No, I mean, and that would be a hard sell. That's, for the A's to get anybody, well, you got to play in Sacramento at this minor league stadium, which could be a great stadium, but.
Well, but until they get settled wherever, because even the Vegas question is not answered yet.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So that's a tough one.
It's a tough. I just thought that was funny that he is like, yeah, sorry, I'm not playing in Sacramento.
So the, a lot of things are going to be happening, little moves here and there. Jose Siri traded from the Rays to the Mets. Great fielder, not a good hitter. I mean, he's got some power when he does hit. But the guys that we're looking at, Juan Soto, most people would say that Corbin Burns is the top of the starting pitcher class, but we've talked about him. Blake Snell, you just mentioned. You've got Max Fried. Mm-hmm. There, one thing this year with the with the pitchers is you have high end, good medium. You've got a good amount of pitching that you could get a quality pitcher and not have to spend a bunch of money for Corbin Burns, Blake Snell, Max Fried,
right,
among the pitchers. And, the other thing is there's, 100 guys out there who are being non-tendered that'll be out on the market, or minor leaguers that are released, so that because now's the time to get guys on the 40-man roster to avoid potential Rule 5 drafting of those players. So, we talked a little bit last week about what the Angels have already done. They haven't really done much since, but that's the thing. We have, just a lot of players a lot of guys in orange. I noticed Corbin Burns, Blake Snell, Alex Bregman.
Yeah. Now, I did hear that the Astros have made an offer to Bregman. I don't know what those terms are, how many years, what the dollar amount is, but that doesn't come as a surprise to me. I think Alex Bregman is a player that I could see staying with the Astros for his career. And what are we going to do? Are we still going to call it the juice box? Because it's not going to be Minute Maid anymore.
No.
It's going to be something dumb.
What is that? Dakin, I think, is the name of it. But what is that for? I never looked.
I'm going to look right
taken
now.
over. Look that up. And while you're doing that, like I said, a guy that I'm interested in, and I wonder if he could be a Dodger. I doubt he'll come this way, but Anthony Santander.
Oh, yeah.
You need an outfielder. He's got some pop. You put him and Teo. The Cubs are supposedly looking to shop Cody Bellinger.
Yes,
you know
I heard
what
that.
you got there. You bring him back. He's a great center fielder.
Yeah.
And he's got some potential in his bat.
All right. So Dakin is the leading industry with premium and in sustainable HVAC technologies.
So that's why they were talking about the ice box.
Oh, there you go.
As one of the, I saw people say that, but I
was
didn't know what that
concerned.
meant.
I'm like, we got the juice box, and now what do we do?
So
and I
we could
wonder,
still call it the ice box.
Yeah, I like the ice box. I don't know if their HVAC stuff is at the grill, but if it is, that's a great company, because that the grill, when I needed that air conditioning right on me during the home run derby, it was awesome.
They delivered. That's
they
for
did.
sure.
If it was this company. Okay, the ice box. Okay, now that makes me not so worried as I go into the off season. What am I going to do?
I can hear that you are you're relieved.
I'm so relieved
That a team that you could care less about.
Exactly, but I got to have a stadium name, so the grill,
yeah,
the ice box.
It was called the Cheater Haven.
Right. Well, that too, AKA.
All right. So a couple things before we get to Hall of Famers and we close out the show. Something that is odd, one, because they're just a bad organization, and the other one because of Mother Nature. Two teams this next season are going to be playing in minor league stadiums. We've talked about the Athletics, who are no longer the formerly of Oakland Athletics, will be playing about 2 hours away in Sacramento at the Giants AAA team's home stadium. And then due to the hurricane down there, what was that? Milton? Was that the one that I can't remember the names. They all run together. Milton. He came for his stapler and took the roof off. He set, just like he set Initech on fire.
Yeah.
Took the roof off of Tropicana, which we talked a little bit about before. They are now going to be playing this next season because they can't play at the Trop yet. Or during the season, probably till they get everything fixed and a new roof on it. Playing at Steinbrenner Field there in Tampa, which is the spring training home of the Yankees. So they're going to play there during their regular season. And then the question is, or what's next? Their funding has been put on hold because the old county supervisors or the county government, who was all for it, were elected out of office. And then when they put it on hold, 6-1 to put it on hold, to maybe not issue the bonds. And then they said the longer you do this, because they were looking for a new stadium in 2028.
Right.
So you put it off, it's going to push to 2029, which is going to increase cost. And the ownership has said, we can't incur all that extra cost. We can't handle that.
Right. Yeah. That's going to be interesting. Are they still going to be playing in Tampa Bay? Will they, because we heard this season, where were they going to move to Montreal? Were they going to, move somewhere else? Where was the other place they were going to move? It's Montreal, I remember, and
I don't know.
yeah, I don't. But it's
there's
somewhere
so many
else.
different places. Like, yeah, it's not going to be here, but it might be here, and it's not going to be
Right.
there, but it might be here. So it's like wherever they can, they can get something, I guess. And while all that's going on, we've talked in the past about the TV rights of MLB and blackouts. We've talked a lot about that stuff.
Yes.
And even Greg mentioned, what TV market he's in North Carolina. And you deal with this being between two markets that one maybe, the other one absolutely no way.
Yeah.
But it looks like, and this is something that is happening here with Diamond Sports, who was running Bally Sports, has been in bankruptcy.
Mhm.
And MLB has taken over the broadcast they did it for the Padres. They're going to be doing it for the Reds. The Angels now will be on, and it's no longer Bally's. It's FanDuel.
Of course.
And, but they're also going to have, not only will they have the normal cable channel, which is the FanDuel Sports, they're also going to have a streaming option with no blackout restrictions. So if you want to stream it and you live here in Southern California, you can do that. And by 2028, MLB hopes to have the rights to most teams so that they can put together an MLB game package. And we'll have to talk about that because there's a lot going on with that and what has to be done as far as, because everybody's supposed to get a piece of that pie.
Right.
And how does that work when one team's got a better deal, like the Dodgers have their own network?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be less inclined to say, oh, yeah, we'll be part of that. That's what he wants, is that everybody's under MLB control.
Right.
Thus, MLB gets the bigger part of the pie.
Yeah. And another thing within this is it doesn't just happen. I mean, it has to be in the CBA. The players have to, the players union have to vote on this. I mean, like, it's a huge thing. And that's one of the things I was wondering, like with the Dodgers, they have Sportsnet LA and they have their own streaming service. Right. I think that they came out with this season. So
this is the Sportsnet LA app.
Yeah. So how does that all work? I think it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
And then one last quick thing before we get to the Hall of Fame list. MLB is going to start testing robot umpires at 13 spring training ballparks. Haven't said which 13, but it's 13 ballparks covering 19 teams. So it'll be at some that share facility, which makes sense. You can get the maximum amount out of all of that.
So I could see him doing it at Camelback because you've got the White Sox and the Dodgers.
Yeah, out in Glendale, where the Mariners are, and I'm trying to remember who they share with, but they share facility as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting that they're going to try that out, and if all works out, it could be into the major leagues by 2016. I mean 2026, not 16. I'm going back in time.
That's right.
So that's there. Now the question is, as comes here, who's going to the Hall of Fame? Who should go in first time? And there's quite a few guys that are on the list for the very first time. There's a couple guys who are coming to the end of their time, and one guy who was just about a point and a half away from getting in last time. And he's a guy that, even though I was watching baseball when he was there, I just don't remember him very well. And that's Billy Wagner. And this is his last year.
And I don't see him getting the percentage he did last year. Just because I think first year on the ballot, Ichiro Suzuki is going to be a first year
Oh yeah,
ballot.
he's
I
in
think-
right away.
Yeah, and I even say CC Sabathia would be my other pick that could possibly, but definitely Ichiro.
So you think that because of that, Wagner's not going to get in because Ichiro will probably push him out of the way, as will potentially CC Sabathia, which I think is reasonable.
Yeah, I think, it's you mentioned it's his 10th and final year, got 73.8% last year, but you've got this new class coming in, and those two guys I think could push him off.
All right, so you get Ichiro, Sabathia. Those guys look like they could be first timers on the first ballot. New guys, 14 players are all coming in. Dustin Pedroia, Felix Hernandez, Carlos Gonzalez, Curtis Granderson, Adam Jones, Ian Kinsler, Russell Martin, Brian McCann, Hanley Ramirez, Fernando Rodney, Troy Tulowitzki, and Ben Zobrist are all first timers coming in on the ballot. So anybody in that group stand out beyond the two that we talked about, Ichiro and Sabathia?
No.
I think Felix Hernandez, maybe.
Yes, the King. Yeah, King. Yeah, definitely. But even so,
he just had a small window of real success, and
right.
I'm not sure him. The rest of them, I don't really see. Oddly, the only one on this list of players I see, maybe Curtis Granderson.
Yeah.
But Fernando Rodney may get enough votes, over 5%, to stay on the ballot.
Right.
Just that's just a out there prediction. Just because Fernando Rodney was a character.
Oh yeah.
And he played a lot. He showed up, played well at times. I mean, he's not a Hall of Famer, but
no, but he could get votes. I think he could get the votes.
And then, the guys who were there, we talked about, Billy Wagner, Bobby Abreu, Carlos Beltran, who I'm not sure that he's going to make it unless they soften, but he was part of the cheating scandal.
Yeah.
So that comes up. Mark Burley, I don't think so. Torrey Hunter, who was able to make it through. Andrew Jones is a guy who maybe he does belong in, but will he be lost in the shuffle as well?
Right.
Andy Pettit's not going in. Manny Ramirez isn't going in because of steroids. A-Fraud, the same thing. Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, over 400 saves, was solid. I think he deserves maybe a little more consideration. I think he gets overlooked. Chase Utley, Omar Vizquel, Jimmy Rollins, that's, and then David Wright and Billy Wagner. These are the guys who are left. Maybe Chase Utley gets a look.
I think Chase Utley probably could get a look where he could get maybe enough to be, to stay on. But I just those two names, CC and Ichiro, I think are the two that definitely get in.
All right. And then this one is more intriguing to me because most of the guys on here are guys that I watch play. And this is the Classic Baseball Era Committee. And these are guys who were overlooked when they were done. And, should they be in? Shouldn't they be in? That's a good question. And Dick Allen, who every year people talk about that, what a great player he was. And should he be in the Hall of Fame? A lot of people say yes. There's an opportunity here. Ken Boyer played a lot of time with the Cardinals. John Donaldson, who was a Negro League player. Steve Garvey, who lost his Senate bid here just in this last election, but maybe gets in the Baseball Hall of Fame. The question that we look at is like some of these guys have numbers that are comparable to current Hall of Famers.
Right.
And there's always been that conversation. Dave Parker is another one. Lots of big numbers. Should he be in? And that's always the other thing. Louis Tiant is on this list. Louis Tiant just passed away.
Hmm.
You know, you wait too late to get him in. Dave Parker has Parkinson's disease.
Yeah.
And is in bad shape. Can he finally get in? You know, he may not be able to fully enjoy it as he could have a few years ago, but he's still here to celebrate. And then I think he belongs in the Hall of Fame just because his name is the name of the surgery, Tommy John.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think on this ballot, it's Tommy John. I mean, he's forever going to be always in baseball, not just as, oh yeah, I remember Tommy John playing or I saw him pitch. No, it's because he has this surgery, and it was a groundbreaking surgery that he had 50 years ago. And he was a 4-time All-Star, and 3 of those All-Star selections came after the Tommy John, you know, after he had this surgery, which was named after him. So I think, I think Tommy John belongs in the Hall of Fame just for that reason. And then one of the other guys considered, Vic Harris. A lot of names, a lot of people don't know that. He played from 72 to 1980. He was a utility player, played for the Rangers, the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Giants, and the Brewers. One of the first, you know, I guess he wasn't the only utility player, but that's how he made his way. And he went his first 35 at bats without a base hit. So that's something to consider there. I think that Dick Allen. Yeah.
I think, honestly, just because I'm a fan of Steve Garvey, I think Steve Garvey, Dave Parker, and, you know, Louis Tiant, and then Tommy John, sure. But at least 4 of the 8.
Yeah, I agree with all of those. And I mean, Steve Garvey, I mean, we watched, like you said, I watched him play, you know, growing up, and he was always a, you know, favorite. He had the Popeye arms. So it's
Right.
how I always remember
And that's
him.
why they call him Popeye.
Yeah.
I think that is those picks. And, you know, there's probably a few other guys that you could have a conversation about being part of that group. I think Dale Murphy could have been part of that group. He definitely deserves more consideration than he's gotten as far as the Hall of Fame. As much as I hated him and the Braves, he definitely is somebody that, and maybe he'll be considered, you know, later on. The veterans committees meet in odd times, you know, as far as like the different whatever eras. So we'll see. And that, you know, all of the voting for those things that have to be in by the end of December for the BBWAA writers, or whoever has Hall of Fame votes. Those writers have to have it, like I said, by the end of the year, and we'll learn who was added in. I'm not sure when the votes for the veterans, the classic baseball era time frame. Oh, we'll learn about that in just a couple of weeks. December 8th, they announced that. So we'll know who's going in from the classic baseball era ballot. And then after the first of the year, we'll learn who all is being elected in off of the current Hall of Fame list. And I'm with you. Definitely Ichiro. Sabathia will probably be very close. And we'll see if anybody else, you know, if that disrupts Billy Wagner's chance, Andrew Jones. We'll see. And who else moves along. because when you get all those new players, some of those guys who just make it past last year may not make it past this year. That'll wrap up the final episode of season 5. We appreciate you riding along with us and talking baseball, listening to us talk about baseball. We always love to hear from you. You can reach out to us on Twitter at Sibling Rivalry BB without the A.
And on Facebook and Instagram at Sibling Rivalry BB with the A.
So we start our hibernation now. So there's plenty. This was our 160th episode. So that
Wow.
means that you have 159 other episodes you can go back and listen to. And all winter long, we'll keep you company. You can go back until baseball comes back officially. And unless, I don't think there's going to be anything like Shohei's free agency last year.
Yeah.
So unless something just incredible happens, I don't really care where Juan Soto goes.
No, I don't either. We're not doing a special episode.
So no updates unless something crazy happens. Then, you can, we'll come back and do that then. Like I said, follow us on our social media pages. And if there's something big, we'll talk about it there or note it there. And stop by our website, siblingrivalrybb.com. And it's holiday season. Buy your favorite fan some gear from their favorite team, no matter the sport. All right. Or if you want to get some championship gear, you can do that on any of the levels for any of the teams, including the Dodgers, who won something this year.
They did.
They did. World champions right there. So we wish you a happy holiday season. Thanks again to Greg Sullivan for stopping in on the last episode, as he always does. We love the disco turkeys. And hopefully, if you live in that area, we'll be out next year to throw out a first pitch. And we'll let you know when that happens.
Yeah.
Drive it into the ground, probably. I will bloviate about that. Anyway, have a great holiday season, a great new year. And until next time, don't forget to swing away.
And make sure our mascot is okay.
That's right. Yes. We'll be praying for Boogie not to be on any dinner table. Make sure he is, camouflaged.
Walking into Thanksgiving dinner and there's the disco turkey head looking at you.
I don't even want to think about it. Yeah,
It's nightmare.
that would be, it's nightmare fuel. Yeah.